Hello and welcome to Quick Check tutorial video series. Today I'm going to show you how you can manage a bank book using premium edition of Quick Check 365. We will cover the following topics. Why should you choose Quick Check Premium Edition? What are its main features? The setup process for using it efficiently. The actual printing process for the check. Reports that it provides you. You can skip to different chapters from the progress bar in case you're looking for something specific. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the entire video. So let's get started. If you're an accountant, a finance manager, a real estate broker, an insurance broker, or a business owner, and you write more than 30 checks in a month, you should be using Quick Check to write these checks and manage your counterfile. The Premium Edition is the most advanced and feature-rich version of Quick Check. It has all the functions which the free and light editions have and offers more to make it complete bank book management system. You can check my other videos on free and light editions to see which version suits you best. I have given the links below in the description. I will log into Quick Check now with the username and password which was provided to me. The moment I log into Quick Check, I come to the page for adding a new check. I don't have any information for checkbooks, I don't have any check formats, I don't have any beneficiaries. So what we're going to do is we're going to first set up Quick Check so we have the information for checkbooks, the relevant check formats and the beneficiaries in order to create a check successfully. As you navigate to the left hand side, you will see the system has divided all the functions into 4 major groups. We have masters, we have transactions, we have reports and we have certain configurations. The master menu has all the functions which are required as a one-time setup or as an ongoing setup to be reused into the transactions. Once the transactions are done, we can get the relevant report and we can do our settings in the settings area to make Quick Check more efficient. The first thing which we do is go and set up our masters. So in the masters, we are going to create a bank account. This bank account will belong to a particular bank. The next step is to create a check format. This check format will also belong to a bank. Third step is to create a checkbook. This is a very crucial step in which we link our bank account and the check format to this particular checkbook. So Quick Check will know whenever you print any check from this checkbook, which bank account to use and which format to use. The last thing which is there is creating the beneficiaries or the parties. You can either create it from the masters or you can create it on the fly when you're creating a check. So I click on the accounts. This brings me to the account listing page where I can see a list of all the accounts which I have registered in the system. Right now I don't have anything and hence the list is empty. I'm going to click on this add new button to create my first bank account. The first thing which I do is I select the bank to which this account belongs. So for example, my account belongs in Bank of Montreal. My account number is 444455556666. It is always advisable to give the correct account number because it is used in future screens to see which account is being selected for printing the check. I can mention the holder name here as the person who is the signing authority for this particular bank account. I can select the account type, whether it's a current account, a savings account, a recurring account. This information is only captured for information purpose. There is no relevance of this across the system. I can also record my IBAN number, again for printing on the vouchers and for information purpose. When I click save, I get a message saying check saved successfully and my account is listed over here. Now I'll see my account number is 444455556666. I will go ahead and create another account from Bank of Montreal as 111122223333 and I'll put the holder name as Chipin Computer Council and I'll put this account type as a current account and I will not put any IBAN number and save it. As you can see, now I have 2 accounts from Bank of Montreal registered in the system, one on a personal name and one on a company name. I can see my opening balance and current balance. This is only available if I'm tracking my balances within the system. If I'm not, they will be marked as 0. What I see here is I get an option to edit the bank account, I get an option to delete the bank account, I can see whether I'm tracking the balance of the bank account and whether the status is active. If this account is created by mistake, I can go ahead and delete it. If I have issued checks, using this bank account, the system will not allow me to delete the bank account. I can edit this check information, this account information, and go ahead and enable the track balance, in which case I will have to put the opening balance for this particular account. The system will then start tracking all the transactions in this bank account using the opening balance as the starting point. Any deposits and withdrawals will automatically be added and subtracted from the system in order to give you the accurate current balance of that particular bank account. Once my account is created, I will go ahead and create a check format for the respective bank. So I click on the check format screen. I come to a list of all the check formats which are available in my account. Right now I have not created any, so I see there is nothing available. I've got two options. First option is to create a check format from scratch using this add new button, and the second option is to try out the predefined formats available in the system. I will click on this import predefined check formats, search the bank, Bank of Montreal. I see my bank is available, so I go ahead and select this and I say save. On doing so, system creates a copy of that default check format in the system for my reference. Now I can use this check format for printing my checks and seeing whether this format is compatible with my printer and whether it is printing correctly. In case it is not printing correctly, I can use this edit button to go ahead and adjust the fields. I will show you that portion little bit later during the process. So the next step is to create the checkbook. So I click on this checkbooks. I click on the add new button. I will select the bank account for which I am having this checkbook. I see the bank name and the holder name appear over here. I will say the checkbook number. So for example, this is the first checkbook for this account. I will select the check format which I created in the previous step. I will select the issue date on which I am going to start using this checkbook. Again, for record purposes, I will say what is the first check number. So the first check number is 100 and the last check number in this checkbook is, the first check number is 101 and the last check number is 200. So the system will tell me that I'm going to have 100 checks available in this particular checkbook. Now this is an interesting feature of reminding you when the checkbook goes below 10 checks. So what the system will do is, the system will send you a reminder email every time you issue a check when the number of remaining check leaves is less than 10. I'll click the save button to save the checkbook. I see my checkbook is available in my list. I will go ahead and create another checkbook, and this time I'm going to select the other account which was for the company purposes, and I'll say this checkbook number is 2, and I'll say the check format is the same, the issue date is the same, the first check number is 1001 and the last check number is 1100. So again I have 100 check leaves available and I don't want any reminder for this particular check. So I click save. So now I have got 2 checkbooks available in the system for my use. So let's go ahead and create the party. For doing so, I'll go to the party master. As you can see, I don't have any beneficiaries or any parties registered in the system as of now. I have 2 options to create the party. The first option is add new and the second option is import. Add new is used for adding a single party with all details of the beneficiary or the party into the system. Import can be used for importing from an Excel file. So let's go ahead and create the first party. The party name is a mandatory field. All the other fields can be left blank and are captured only for information purposes and for printing on the voucher. So if I want to issue a check to Chipin IT, then I can enter Chipin IT in the party name and the system will go ahead and issue the check on this particular name. I can also add the contact person, the email, the phone number, the fax and the mobile. If this party is no longer to be used, I can go ahead and mark it as inactive. Otherwise I can leave it as active. As you can see, my party is created over here. The second option is to import. This is very useful, especially when you're setting up the system and you have data coming from your ERP or any other previous check printing applications. So you can click on the import button. You can select any Excel file which has the corresponding data and you can start the mapping process. So when you click start mapping, The system will load this Excel file and will map all the fields in your Excel file to the corresponding fields if it is able to find the name. So for example, you can see address field is already getting mapped with an address field from the Excel file. The phone field is getting mapped with the phone field of the Excel file. But party name, system is not able to determine any field in your Excel which can be used as the party name. So system will give you a drop down and will give you a list of all the fields in your Excel to select. So I have stored my beneficiary names as company name and my contact person as account reference. So I selected these two fields and my email as email address. So once all my fields are mapped, I can click the import process. When I do this, depending on the data size, it may take anywhere between 15-20 seconds to a minute or 2 minutes. As you can see, all my parties are now imported into the system and are ready for use. If any of the parties is incorrect and I don't want to use it, I can click the edit button and I can mark it as inactive. Doing so will stop me from using this particular beneficiary information in any future checks. The previous checks issued on this beneficiary will still be available in the system. If this particular beneficiary like Chipin Corp is an incorrect entry and I want to delete it, I can go ahead and delete it. The system will only allow me to delete it if there are no checks found on this particular beneficiary. Now let's go ahead and get into our transaction screens. Let's go to the check transaction. We can click on add new to add new checks one by one or import using an Excel file. So let's first add a check manually. So I click on the add new button. I come to the screen in which I need to first select my checkbook. So I select the first account. Here you will see your bank name, your account number and your checkbook number is visible. Hence it is very important that you give a proper account number and a proper checkbook number to identify it at this stage. The moment you select your checkbook, your check format is automatically selected and the first check number is visible to you. You can go ahead and select the beneficiary to whom you want to issue. As you can see, we only have 3 beneficiaries over here because we had marked the 4th one as inactive. If the beneficiary exists over here, I can select it, or I can add a beneficiary on the fly using this plus button. Once I've selected my beneficiary, I can go ahead and select the amount. So for example, I want to issue him a check of 1500. The date is by default coming as today's date and I can go ahead and change it to a future date if I'm issuing a future dated check. Language is by default English and all the other fields are non-mandatory. So as you can see, I just have to put in my checkbook, my party, my amount and date to print the check. Below is a representation on how the check will look like. So it will say Chipin Computer Council 1500 only and the amount will come over here. If I want to go ahead and print an accounts payee stamp so that this check can only be deposited into the account and cannot be cashed, I can select this accounts payee and this accounts payee label will appear. I can change it also and say AC payee only to go ahead and change my stamp. Similarly, I can go ahead and put additional text and say this check is only valid for 5 months and additional text too that this check should not exceed 1500. This way, my check will not exceed a Canadian dollar value of more than 1500. The reason why we mention these texts is sometimes I don't want to mention the amount while I'm printing the check. So I can remove this and say that I'm issuing a check to Chipin Computer Council for 23rd of September, which is valid for 5 months from the date of the check and will not exceed a value of $1500. Similarly, I can go ahead and say I want to issue a check to Chipin Computer Council and I don't want to put up a date. The date can be printed or written at a later date. Similarly, I can issue a check without having the party. So I'm issuing a check of 1500, but I don't know to whom I'm issuing. So the person to whom I'm giving this check can write the name of the company or his own individual name properly. These are some of the regular practices, but have to be exercised very carefully because not printing the entire check or not printing all the fields of the check can lead to a check fraud. I can also go ahead and say that this Chipin Computer Council, I don't want it to be in all capital, I want it to be in proper case. So now if you can see here, it's Chipin Computer Council with the first letter as capital and all the other letters as small. If I click again, it will all become capital. So I can change these values from here. Once this is done, I can see my bank name, bank account and current balance. This field will show me the balance of my account in case I'm tracking the balances from the system. I can put the moment I click on the save and print button, the system will show me a preview of my check and give me the option to select the printer on which I want to print. So if I selected this printer as an example and I say I want to print it, this check will directly be printed on my printer now. And depending on how the check printed, I will get three options. I can say the check printed correctly, yes. If I do this, this message will not come in future printings. If I say no, the check did not print correctly and I want to adjust the template, then I can adjust the template directly from here. Or I can click on this button which is I need help, and it will take you to our support page where you can go ahead and contact us using any of these numbers on WhatsApp, and we will help you out in setting up your checks. So let's say my check did not print correctly and I ended up adjusting my template. So I will go to my check format screen now. I will select the check format which I have and I will adjust the fields depending on where it printed. So if it printed towards the right, I can go ahead and move it like towards the left. If it is printing the amount in words, one field needs to be up, I can move it up. I can move it left, I can move it right. Okay, whichever location I want it to be printed, I can go ahead and print or adjust the fields there. Once I have adjusted the fields, I will click the save button and I will go ahead and reprint my check to see what are the changes. This iteration needs to be done at least 2 to 3 times depending on how close the check is. And once the check template is set, or once the check format is set for you, no matter you print one check or you print 100,000 checks, everything will get printed correctly on your printer. If you want to move these fields slightly, for example, the party name field after adjustment is okay, but it's requiring very little movement. So what we can do is we can use these small buttons in the bottom. We can see the party name, and instead of moving it all left, we can just click on this a couple of times to move it slightly left and slightly up, or slightly right and slightly down. Okay. Once I have done this, I can go ahead and reprint my check to see if it is printing correctly. There are a couple of other features on this particular screen which we can use to make our check look more beautiful and make it more secure. So for example, I want to adjust the font of my check. I can click on this button and I can change the font and the size which I'm using for printing my checks. I can also change whether it is bold, whether it is normal, whether it is italic. But please make sure when you make these kind of changes on the font, the check adjustment might need to be redone, because the size of the text will reduce or increase depending on what you're doing. There are other security features, like for example, if you go to amount in figures, which is this one, and you want to put a prefix and suffix, this will ensure that the amount is printed between these two security controls. So nobody will be able to add anything in front of your check amount or add anything in the end of your check amount. Similarly, you can do the same thing for amount in words and party. There is another important feature, which is the word length and the party length. Now most of the banks have 2 lines for printing the amount in words, whereas a single line for printing the beneficiary. So for example, if you're printing a very long amount and it is going to the second line and the line is not coming correctly, and you can see that QuickCheck is overwriting the fields, you can use this party length field to adjust and reduce the size, for example 55 characters. So after a certain amount of characters, this line will go ahead and print it on the second line. Similarly, if you have a bigger check and you want to increase it more, you can increase it more than 60. 60 are the default values, and most of the banks will support this kind of length on the first amount in words field. Now let's go back to our check screen and see how we can import the checks. We'll click on this import button. We'll select the file which we want to import. I will give you the sample file for importing the checks in the description, so you can reuse or you can create your own file as well. Once the file is uploaded, we will start the mapping process. The mapping process will ask me to select the checkbook from which I want to issue the checks. So I'll select the first checkbook and the format and the language. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to issue these checks in English. The date field automatically got mapped from my Excel file, or I can select a common date for all the checks which I'm issuing by using this particular field. Print date, yes or no. Yes, I want to print the dates for my check. amount which is going to be used for the check. Do you want to print the amount? Yes. Is the amount in uppercase? Is the what is the party? So I can select the party from the Excel, or I can issue all the checks to a selected party. So for example, if I want to import all the checks and I want to say all these checks belong to Chip and Computer Council, then I can select that from here. Similarly, for printing the party, is the party to be printed in uppercase? Is the accounts payee text to be printed, or what is the accounts payee text? Is the account payee text to be printed? Print accounts payee. Additional text 1, additional text 2, signature, voucher number, remarks, all these fields will get mapped, or I can select them and I will start the import process. So when I start the import process, the system will import these checks and show me in my list. Let me just make it 25. So now the system will show me that there are 5 checks which are in drafted state. These are the checks which I actually imported now, and these are the 2 previously created checks which we did in our example. So I can see that on 15th of September 152.52 is to be issued, 16th of September 18,000 is to be issued, and so on and so forth. I've got a couple of options on the right hand side. I can either click on this small button to print the check, this one, this blue one, print the check. So when I click on this one, for example this one, it will directly print the check onto my printer. I can say the print from here, and it will go as per the predefined selected format. Now I have 3 checks which have been issued, if you see here, and the remaining 4 are in draft. So I can directly click this print button to issue the check. I can delete this check if there is a mistake, so I can click on this delete button and delete the check. I can edit the check. So for example, this check while importing, okay, there was a mismatch of the date, or there was a mismatch of the amount. So I say instead of 18th of September, I want this check to be issued on the 30th of September. Okay, so I can do that, and I can directly click on the save and print button. Again, this check is also issued. I'll click the print button. Okay. Once these checks are issued, I can click on this small yellow button for printing the voucher. So for example, if I click this, it will create a voucher which I can get signed by the person who's collecting the check. My company logo can come over here, all the other information is coming over here, and the option of getting signatures from the person who prepared, verified, approved and received is also over here. Now one important thing which I missed while the importing process is that if you see, I had only these parties: Chip and IT Solutions, Chip and Corp, Chip and Computer Council. There is a new party which is added as self. So when I'm importing the checks, system also validates if the beneficiary or the party exists. If it exists, it will utilize the same. If it doesn't, it will create a new beneficiary for you. So you can go ahead and import your checks with ease without having the need to create the beneficiaries before. Let's look at a couple of other options on an issued check. So if I click this edit button, I get the option to mark the check as cleared, to mark the check as cancelled, and to enter the invoice details against which this check was issued. So I can record multiple invoices over here, and these invoice information will be printed on the voucher. So my paper trail is proper. Let's go ahead and see now the transactions tab. So when I click on the transaction, I will see all the checks which I have issued from the system are automatically listed over here, and they are not editable. I can only see the information, and I can print the vouchers. I can create a new transaction for recording the inward movement into my accounts, so I can track my account balance properly. So I can select the account over here. I can select the party from which I am receiving the fund. I can put the amount which I am receiving or withdrawing. I can put the date. I can put up a reference number, and I can put up a mode, whether it was a cash, whether it was a wire transfer, whether it was another check, a demand draft, or any other mode of payment. So I say, for example, it was a cash and it was deposited into my account or withdrawn from my account. So I say deposit into my account, and I save it. So So what I will see over here is that there is a transaction now which is created, depositing into my account through a mode of cash for 15,000, and it gives me an option to edit it, print a voucher for this as well, and delete the transaction. This screen is generally used if you're using the maintain account balance feature of the account, so you can record every transaction into the system. You can import data into the transaction screen in a similar way in which you are doing it in the check screen. Now let's go ahead and see how we can print multiple checks together using the batch printing feature. So we go to the batch printing screen, we select our checkbook and the check format. QuickCheck will show us all the checks which are in drafted mode. So these are the checks which we have either imported previously or are in drafted stage, which have to be issued. So what we can do is we can select these two checks and say print selected. What this will do is this will only print these two checks. If we want to print all the checks, we can click this print all button. So I'm just going to right now print these two checks. So I click print selected. As you can see, I have got two different checks created for me, and I can click the print button to print them. The moment these two checks are printed, their status has changed to issued, and hence they have been removed from this list. Now let's look at the reports. The report menu has all the reports which QuickCheck has to offer. I will show you the calendar report, and the other reports are pretty self-explanatory, so you can go ahead and try them out. If you need any help, you can always get in touch with us. So let's quickly have a look at the calendar report. The calendar report is a graphical interface or graphical view of your checks on a calendar. This helps you easily identify any checks which are to be presented to the bank in future. So for example, if you see now, you are seeing that 15th of September we have issued these checks, and tomorrow there is another check which is supposed to go to the bank. So this is an issued check with my supplier which he will be depositing in the bank. Whereas when you see on the 18th, you see that there are two checks which are supposed to be going to the bank from the suppliers, and there is a check which is supposed to come into the bank from one of my customers. So if I'm using the transaction menu and depositing post-dated checks into the system, then the system will show this on a calendar. We can go ahead and change this view and see what checks are supposed to go in October, November, December, and so on and so forth. Now let's get into the settings menu. The setting menu basically will give you option to select and configure your printer settings. What is the orientation of your printer, portrait or landscape, you can select from here. If your printer is printing from the left, right or center, you can select it over here. And if your printer is printing from back to front, you can select it over here. These are the default check settings. So you can enable your accounts pay or you can disable your accounts pay stamp on the check. You can change the default text of the accounts pay to accounts pay only. So all the checks have this. You can block any post-dated checks to be issued from the system. You can block any backdated checks to be issued from the system. So the system will not allow you to issue any check whose date is prior to today's date. Similarly, you can say you want to print the party name, the date, the amount by using these toggle buttons. You can say PDC reminders in days. So if you enable this and you say 7, system will send you an email on your registered email address 7 days prior to any check being presented in the bank. So if you have a PDC which is supposed to go 7 days from now, you will start getting email reminders starting today. So you'll get an email reminder today, you'll get an email reminder tomorrow, and you'll continue to get it till the check is presented in the bank or till the check is marked as cleared. You can also enable two-factor authentication to your account. So every time you log into your account, you will get an OTP on your email, and you will have to put that in to be able to log in successfully. Now let's look at the dashboard of the application. So we can click on the home button, and we see an overview of all the checks which we have issued. So we have issued 10 checks. We have one check in draft mode. We have 5 post-dated checks. This is the list of all the withdrawals, post-dated withdrawals, and these are the list of all the post-dated deposits. Very simple and very friendly for you to quickly get an idea on which check is supposed to go to the bank in how many days. So you can see these checks are supposed to go in 8 days, this is supposed to go today, and these checks are supposed to go in 3 days and 1 day. Similarly, there is a deposit coming up in the next 3 days. You can change your password or you can update your profile information by clicking on this profile button. You can update your avatar picture, or you can upload your picture over here. You can go ahead and change your password. You can put your old password, you can put the new password. You can also update certain information like your last name and first name. Certain information like email address cannot be updated from the system because of security reasons. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you require any help or any support using QuickCheck, if you have any feature requests, any enhancement requests, any customizations, if you would want it to be integrated with your ERP, if you want a specific feature in the application which you think will add a lot of value, please feel free to contact us on our support page. These are the numbers. I will leave this link below in the description. These are the numbers. You can contact on any of these numbers using WhatsApp, and one of our teammates will get back to you.